Well, he's known as Brisbane's coffee king, but cafe owner Philip DeBella says the state's plan to impose a vaccine mandate on all hospitality staff and customers is unworkable, and he's not holding back.
And if you support them mandating something like this, that you have your human rights taken away on where you can eat, where you can drink, where you can associate, where you can go, then you've got rocks in your head and this country has gone mad.
Pretty strong words, and that post has now gone viral. Philip DeBella, the owner of the Coffee Commune in Brisbane, joins us live. Philip, so you say you're not anti-vax, but you are pro-choice. Just talk us through that video and your concerns.
Yeah, good morning, Ali. Good morning, Karl. First of all, not anti-vax at all. My vaccine report card is longer than most people's toilet rolls because of the countries I've visited around the world. And so definitely not anti-vax, and I'm not a medical expert, but I am obviously pro-business and I'm pro-choice, and I'm against, human rights being taken away from people. This direction by the Premier has been done without consultation to industry, certainly not with me or my colleagues, to see what the best way to roll it out at a time of where hospitality workers are struggling for staff.
Yeah.
Right now, at a time where we're coming into the busiest time of year, we're already seeing cancellations because of her direction at places like Noosa and Broad Beach. And my thing is, rather than politicians throwing directions out there, why not consult with industry and think it out before you actually roll these things, because one decision over here has multiple tidal wave effects down the line.
Well, the Premier has consulted, and the Chamber of Commerce and Industry has actually welcomed this decision, Philip.
Well, they've welcomed it from a position that, OK, you stretch the bandwidth and eventually it breaks. There's a lot of hospitality people that have just rolled over and said, well, this is better than nothing. Yet what we've got to stand for is obviously the people that are vaccinated have rights and the people that are unvaccinated have rights. And until it's legislation and until it's actually law, not a direction, we will welcome everybody and won't discriminate. And, once the legislation's in place, and if it does get in place, then we will follow the legislation.
Well, it will get in place. Look, I feel like I'm in a time warp here because we were having the exact same conversation with the nation in regards to New South Wales and also Victoria over the last 2 months, and most have complied, and it's been much smoother in reality than everyone thought, right? And they've taken it on board, and even out there on the streets right now, it's running really efficiently, and everyone's on board. What is it about it exactly that makes you think it's not going to work for you?
Well, to me, it's about dictatorship. This is the beginning of dictatorship. And dictatorship, when people start telling you what you must do and you're taking choice away from a person. The vaccine works, right? Medical science proves the vaccine works. If you're vaccinated, you're safe, like any other vaccine that's rolled out before. But yet, what we're doing is dividing nations. We're dividing people. We're saying to people, we're giving you a direction and we want you to fight it. And I'm against that. I'm against the fact that I'm not here to police for the government. The government in Queensland rolled that out in October 4. The police department said that you had to be vaccinated to be working in the police force. Well, there's plenty of people in the police force that are unvaccinated. There's over 7,000 people in Queensland Health that are not vaccinated, but yet the direction was go get vaccinated. Now they're asking small, medium and family business to police a direction that they passed, but they can't police it in their own backyard.
Do you feel though, this is a dam, and you're trying to sandbag it. The horse is bolting. It will be legislation. It will be enacted. And really, you're not going to be able to do anything about that. So aren't you better to move with the consensus?
Well, the consensus at the moment, Karl, if you look at, obviously the polls from Courier Mail and this thing, and I never expected a video that I put up to go viral. That's not my point. It was to talk to people that obviously follow what I say. From there, it's gone, viral. And if you look at the feedback, 90% of the feedback is saying, thanks for speaking up. This is how we feel, but we haven't had a voice. Like I said, I'm a person of the people. I run a community organisation. And if the people want this and it passes in legislation because the people want it, then I'm all for it. I will comply. I will comply with legislation, and I will comply with what people are choosing. But if we look at what people are saying, right, then no, we shouldn't just roll over, as you say, Karl, because that's why we're a democracy. That's why we're a democratic country. But are we a democracy when people are forcing legislation down people's throats?
I mean, the drama you face is, of course, that when COVID gets in and if not enough people are vaccinated, you're going to start seeing high case numbers and you're going to see people die, unfortunately. Do you think then, your opinion on this one might shift if you start to see something like that?
Well, I think dye is a big call-out, Ali. I mean, I know plenty of mates that are surgeons and ophthalmologists and all the rest of it, and I'm certainly not an expert. And a lot of people, at a time where there's so much noise, sometimes if you can't improve on the silence, you just got to be quiet, which is a great motto to adopt. But I'm not here to speak on behalf of doctors and all the rest of it. But I do look at the figures and say, well, how many people were in hospital before there was a vaccine? How many people are in hospital now, and what's changed? And again, I'm not a medical expert, but what has changed is that pre-vaccine, you didn't have to go to hospital. They were actually telling you to stay home if you had the virus, unless you had complications. Whereas they then passed a direction that said, no, if you have the virus, you must come to hospital. So that sort of distorts numbers. Again, I'm not a medical expert. Those are the facts. So there's many reasons and many arguments.
Thank you for being with us on the program today. As we saw in New South Wales and Victoria, the feelings run hot and they run high during this transition period. We appreciate you coming on the show today. Appreciate it. Thank you, mate.
Thanks,
See you soon.
Philip.